Okay, this is just what we said a minute ago. A diet that is rich in saturated fats can contribute to cardiovascular disease through plaque deposits. Again, that disease is called atherosclerosis, and it can be very serious and lead to a very serious heart attack. Now, this is sort of a wild idea, and I don't know really what the point is, but there is a process called hydrogenation. And this is where you take an unsaturated fat and you bombard it and make it saturated. You add hydrogens to it. So I'm not exactly sure what the point is, but guys, if you ever see hydrogenated fats on your, it's like some potato chips are fried in hydrogenated fats. If you ever see that, stay away from it, because what's happening is um, they're taking these unsaturated fats and they're making them saturated. Hydrogenating vegetable oils also creates unsaturated fats by bombarding them in another manner, causing some double bonds. And when they cause those double bonds, it's in the trans configuration. So that's when you see trans fats. Those are bad as well, because the trans fats, the trans bonds, that would be bonds away from us, not towards us like cis, they contribute heavily because we can't break those bonds down. And so they are even worse as far as causing cardiovascular disease than just a plain old unsaturated fat. I mean, a saturated fat. Okay, certain unsaturated fats are not synthesized in the human body, so we have to eat them. And out of all of these macromolecules, there's two that we have to eat. We have to put in protein and we have to put in some fat. The other ones, the carbohydrates and the nucleic acids, we can process those. We do have to put in a few amino acids, but our bodies can convert a lot of those macromolecules, but we do have to have proteins and fats come in from the diet. These essential fatty acids include our omega 3s. Our omega 3s are really good. Everybody should take a fish oil. I don't know if you take one or not, but it's really good for you, because if you don't get a lot of those good fats, they contain it. Again, like salmon and a lot of fish have them as well. And the omega 3s, they're required for normal growth. I mean, we need them to grow and repair. And they actually help us against cardiovascular disease, because it's very complicated chemistry, but it actually, when it's present, it keeps us from storing the fats in the saturated mode. Okay, the major function of fats is energy storage. We actually, guys, get more energy from fats than we do carbohydrates, but we just can't pull it out of storage like we can our carbs. We store our carbs as glycogen. Well, when we store fats, long term, these fats get stuck in adipose cells. Adipose cell is another term for a fat cell, and they get stuck in there, and our bodies can't retrieve it. Although we need a fair amount of adipose tissue, because adipose tissue is cushioning, it's also an insulator. Um, it protects your organs. We do have a certain amount of fat around our heart, of fat around our kidneys, and we need it because it's a cushion and it's an insulator. Certainly, if you're in the cold, you want something to insulate your organs to keep them warm, and that's what fat does for our body. So a certain amount of it is really pretty good. But long term, even though we get more energy from fats, we don't use fats as an energy source because of the way it's stored. We can easily store glycogen and convert it back into glucose for energy. Once the fat gets stored in the adipose tissue, it is just really hard to pull it out to use it for energy. If you use all of your carbohydrate stores up, your glycogen stores up, then of course fats is going to be the next. And then of course, if you go through your fats, you will eventually burn protein.